Hello everybody and welcome back to the Factorio 0.17 playthrough of trying to launch my first rocket with Isaac. Last time we got oil set up with our plastics production and our solid fuel coming through in an attempt to try to get blue science started up and going. One of the key ingredients of blue science, as we can see here, would be advanced circuits. I'm not too worried about engines at the moment since all they take are steel, iron gears, and pipes, and I've already produced all of those to one degree or another, and in fact steel plates and iron gears are already on the bus. But for red circuits, it's going to be a bit more of an involved build, I think. And so welcome to the Sunday format where I go for 1 hour. And I think that was going to work spectacular for this episode, as I'm going to get red circuits going and blue science, I think. So let's start off with advanced circuits here, which are going to require plastic, copper cable, and green circuits. And I do believe I have enough green circuits going here at the moment to fully fund a... what is that? I think I said I needed... yeah, 3 red chips, or 3 red circuits, or 3 advanced circuits a second, or production cycle, which means I'm going to need 18 advanced circuit machines. And right now, for green circuits, well, we're going to see how this goes. We're just going to take what I have on the bus and use it. Maybe a bit ruthlessly, maybe not. We'll see. So let's get a red circuit build going. Let's see, for that we need green circuits on the bus, plastic bars, those are on the bus, and they take 2 and 2, so I can actually combine those into a single feed line. But what I need is copper cable, which is not on the bus, unless you count the copper plates, of course. So we're just going to run this bus out here real quick. Make sure I give myself plenty of room to work with without worrying about crossing bus lines. And if you're noticing my mini-map up there, or the bus in general, between episodes I was able to go back, clean up the bus just a touch, and get down walls and turrets around the entirety of the frontier there, the entirety of my base, and that's not going to be a permanent solution to anything, unfortunately. But that's the nature of Factorio. You do enough to stay alive and get yourself a little bit farther along, and then you build back up again to fight back the biters, and then you build back up again. And so you can see out here, I've got pollution hitting several biter bases, and they are just going to evolve right on up to and start sending waves of biters at me. So I really should get this going pretty quickly. So I need 18 assembling machines for red circuits. And I might do this just in 2 series of 9. Alright, there we are. 8. Having one of those days. And 9. Now, to run these, I'm going to need 4 copper cable, but copper cable is produced, and I was even in the right tab for it, at 4 a cycle anyways. So one machine, 1 copper cable assembler will feed 6 red circuit assemblers. And right now I'm wondering if there's a way I can direct feed, say, 1 copper cable maker into 6 red circuit machines. And I have an idea on how this can be done. The issue is, as with most things, actually getting it there. So I've been kind of toying around with this idea in the back of my head. I think we're going to try to actually make it happen in this episode. Whether it does or not, we'll see. We will definitely see, but I have all the raw resources I need to definitely make this happen. So what I'm going to need is inserter, and that should just about do it. But what I also need here is copper plates to turn into copper cables. And I'm not even sure this is going to work as I have it. But if that little array does work, then that means I can blueprint it and just copy paste it 2 more times, and I'll be off to the races. Now the only issue here is going to be getting green circuits and plastics in. Which, depending on how much spaghetti I like, may not be much of an issue. Because none of these machines need a whole lot at any given moment. And I'm pretty sure I got this idea after seeing a blueprint of it, or a quick photo of it, on the Factorio Reddit. But of course I didn't copy it down or study it in depth. I just said, oh yeah, let's run the math, see if this makes sense somehow. And so far it does. I'm just not too sure if I can make it make sense in the way of working. Because while I may have my inputs now sorted, I still have to output these red circuits. And that may not be the hardest thing I've ever done either. This might end up being just a bit too complicated. We're going to find out here in a second, right? So let's take that away. Let's see what I can do. Because we need space. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe uses a touch more on the resources than I'd appreciate. And actually, let's do that. Then into here, then out there. Something like that, and then I can have my outputs here, here. Let's say there, and there. And that seems quite awfully close to the bus for what I'm trying to do here. But I think that's the rough idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blueprint this using Alt-B. Just a shortcut I've memorized, of course. We're going to call this red circuit prototype or idea. Not even sure it's full-on prototype just yet. Stuff it in there for now. Put it down on my hotbar 4 there, which I think I'm going to use for blueprints and copy-paste. Because the other idea for doing something like this is a pretty straightforward line build, is what I like to call them, where you just kind of run a line of machines up like that. Make sure you have however many you want on a side. And then you have something like a, or an output there. And then your inputs over here. But for doing something like this, I would need to place copper cable machines up at the front. So say here would be a copper cable machine. I had to figure out how many machines I need per line. So for something like this, I need 1.5. And so I would need 3 copper cable machines in total, if I'm not losing my mind. And so I'd probably run my resources in down the middle like this, and then run my red circuit machines up here. But if I want to expand this, then I have to make more copper cable machines to push this out even farther. Which to me just feels a bit awkward, a little harsh, even though I could And sorry, trying to figure out how to run copper to these machines. It might be something like that, with the red circuit output having to then kind of wrap around either inside or outside of that. So I think we're going to try that experimental build, because all that is pick up, put down, and tile. Which, for something that is going to be in use like red circuits and green circuits, is, in my opinion, infinitely more useful than, say, a build that I have to keep altering to keep expanding. So I think we're just going to go with this build. We'll see how it works. It, in theory, should work fine. But that's the way with all these prototypes, right? In theory, they work 100% of the time. And then should be able to just tile it like that. And what did it say? Big rock? Oh, big rock in the way. That's no big deal. There we go. I fixed my big rock issue. So now we just build this up. Thankfully for the blueprint, it keeps the recipes contained or in memory within the blueprint. So that all this is now just stamping down everything. And admittedly, this is a bit more of a pain than, say, maybe a traditional setup. Simply because, well, I say traditional setup. For all I know, there are plenty of people out there who use this all the time, and it is the go-to setup. But what I mean by traditional is, as far as I'm aware, the traditional line setup. Of doing things. Okay, input, input, output, output, input, input. Yes, I am doing a full mental count to see what everything has here. And if I push that power pole to there, and this one to here, and then replicate it to a degree back this way. Can't quite set it in between. Can do that, however. Yeah, so maybe a little wonky. But I don't think it's anything that is irrecoverable. And I don't think it's anything that's going to have a serious impact on the production of our machines here. So won't need that one for the moment. We'll just run this down, and that's going to be our copper and green circuits. Or not, plastic and green circuits actually. There we go. And don't really need that one there. So we'll just run it kind of like this, just to save a little bit on these undergroundies. If you happen to watch Catherine and Sky, fantastic YouTuber, knows a lot about the game, and who I draw definitely some of my inspiration from. She uses the phrase undergroundies and underflowies to describe underground pipes all the time, and I do believe that has infected my method of talking about the game. Not that I have a serious problem with it, as long as it describes the process well enough for everybody to be able to follow what I'm doing, but that might pop out every now and then. So forewarned is well forewarned. And I feel like I should have tested this out before building it to scale, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. At least that's my most sincere hope at the moment. Here we are. Okay, so I think it's about time I can worry about how to hook this up and get it running properly. For plastics and green circuits, later I'll probably have to actually pull a line of green circuits for each side of this thing and maybe a line of plastics. For now, I think I'm just going to pull one line and split them off. So if we have that here, and we split it, well, we get to a point where we have enough material to split it. Here I am saying I think I had plenty of material for everything, but it turns out I might have severely underestimated how much that would actually take. Get some more long arm inserters here, and as you can see, the biters are definitely having a field day with my defenses, so I am eagerly anticipating the point where I can get blue science going, get advanced oil processing, get past this point so I can get some most wonderful laser turrets. Here we'll bring our copper as far in as possible, and that connects good. And then we'll just connect up red circuits. Bring those down and run them on the top side of the green circuit bus. Kind of like so. Even though right now I'm producing, if I get this producing, we'll be producing just enough red circuits to fuel my blue science. So we're going to have to see how that goes. Okay, everything is actually powered up. Well then, let's start by dragging what we need to drag in for resources. So this is going to be our copper line. And it will definitely work if I could set it up correctly. Take out a bit of steel here. Branch off copper so I can see it nice and easy. There's copper in. Now I need plastic and green circuits. How am I going to run these into each other? Well, I would say maybe that's a question for another day, but that is never a question for another day. Okay. So this might get a little spaghettified here. We're going to find out. Very quickly, I think, if I have indeed lost my mind. Okay, so if I have... Feed those to there, feed that to there. Bring this along. It's a little tight, but that does look like it works. Does everybody have copper cable, copper cable, copper cable, copper cable, cable, and cable? So that looks like it's working as intended. Alright, fantastic. And now what else do I need? Engines, and to produce, how many do I need for blue science? 2 a second. So that would mean I need 20 engine assemblers. Well, I guess I really should get it right on that. And these are going to require, let's see, 2 pipes every 10 seconds. Pipes produce 2 every cycle or every second. Oh, so that means I need 1 pipe assembler for every 10 engine units. Yeah, I don't think I can direct feed that in any meaningful way. So what I'm going to do is actually put that in a line. And we'll say out here, we will call this Happy Dobie Pipes. There we are. Where I'm going to input them, I don't know. But now I need 10 engine assemblers. So 1. I think that's 10. Probably only 9. Is definitely 9. So put that there. Engines. Run those down to pipes. And for pipes, I think I'm just going to deadhead iron into them. Right there. Let the assembler take it off. Once again, extend my bus out to a point where I can remember where everything's kept. There we are. Okay, for these engines, it's just steel pipes and gears. So, I think we'll just have pipes outputting right here. we'll plop steel and gears on this outside line here. And then we'll have engine units coming up through here. And if I remember right, pipes are, yep, they're a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning 1 iron plate to 1 pipe. Excuse me a second. And I think I'll just branch steel and gears off twice. It's not something I'm a huge fan of doing, as I think it tends to make builds just a bit tight. But in this case, I'm willing to do it just for a clean output, since those engines are going to have to cross the bus here. There we go. Get some inserters down. Okay, and now just the power poles, of course. Yeah, it's not the prettiest looking thing I think it's ever been built, but for sure it'll get the job done, I believe. And we'll get some lights down here so nothing's hidden. Oh, forgotten an assembler there, or an inserter actually. It's okay, it's why it's such a good reason to come check out every now and then. And how am I getting red circuits on both sides here? Oh, that one right there. Okay. So that's working. Now I just have to get some raw resources here, which I think is going to become a bit of a bit of an issue, but we'll deal. Wait. Oh, it doesn't need plastic. That was the last build I did. No, what this needs is gears and steel. Oh, the bumbling. Of course, that power pole's in the exact incorrect position to help with any of this. There we go. Yeah, we'll just do a little line hop here. A little too fervent there on the rotate key. Alright, just run back here, pick up more belts. I'm really thinking of unlimiting some of that supply over here, because 400 apparently does not cut it anymore. So let's just up that to 5. And almost forgot the undergrounds. And I should probably get some inserters, especially if I want to get around to doing blue science insertion. Or, you know, anything to do with blue science. Okie dokie. So back to it. Old chap. I have no idea what I'm doing there. Just making sounds. So if you're saying that's the most horrible accent or voice you've ever heard, I fully agree. And that should now get us engine units. With a definite backup in the pipe supply. So, what am I? Well, I don't think I'll need that much iron in my inventory. The solid fuel I'll worry about later. Plastics. There we go. Those get dumped off nice and neat. Pipes. I'm still going to be doing some oil work, I think, for a couple of things. So I won't worry about that too much at the moment. And I really should get those labs out of my inventory. Well, I think this is about the perfect opportunity. So we're just going to extend the bus just a touch. And I like doing my bus extension and maintenance as I build, in case something comes up and I realize I have to turn the bus. Ooh. And so that I realize things like that are missing. Before they become a big issue down the line, I completely forgot to remember that there was supposed to be a fourth line there. Alright, so now I need 24 blue science machines to get 2 a second. Unlike our military, which needed only 10. But I want to run these on the same line as blue science, or as military science. So I want blue and military to share the same line and input. Well then. Oh, I have a little space up here though. So if I was to try to line them all up right here, well, I'd probably have enough room to do it. And I think the science builds from here on out just keep getting bigger. So 26, 25, that's 3. And I need 21, so when that says 3, I'll be done. And there we go. For probably the longest single line build I've done in a good long while on any of my attempted playthroughs, and that is 24 machines. And it's not like blue science really needed much, right? Just some red circuits, some engines, and some solid fuel. So I'll probably run the engines and the solid fuel on the same line. And then I'll have red circuits on their own independent line. Here we go. Blue science. Copy pasta. A little bit of magic, a little bit of not. And yeah, just for the moment, since I'm only making enough red circuits to fund my blue science here, I think I'm just going to drag that directly down. Ooh, that leaves it a bit tight. Well, things to worry about in later episodes, I do believe. There we go. There's red circuits. Coming in, looking nice and flush for the moment. And then engines, which will have to be used in other things. But currently are only being made for blue science. And probably when I get around to using them on other constructions, what I'm going to do is build dedicated engine assemblers for those. Okay, and solid fuel, of course. Of course, that's where that is. Well, it's honestly not the biggest issue. Do a little something like that. Pull that up. Extend that just a touch. And there we go. And then if you just want to keep things balanced, or like to pretend you're balancing, you can do that. Then we'll run these down a bit. Run them into that central line right there. Take off a few for taxes. There we go. And then we just run them out to blue circuits. And now to get some proper assembler setup. I see my science selected up there is already advanced oil processing, so that'll be the first thing I research. And we have about 15 minutes left in this episode with you fine folk. So I just might be able to get over there and hook up cracking. Maybe not. This might just be a focus on maintenance kind of end of the episode. Or a see what I can do and kind of take a tour of the base and take stock on what needs to be accomplished. Okay, now just get some power poles. And the ones that are already there should easily accommodate any inserters I put down to extract the blue science from the machines. Except for maybe that one. That's fine. We'll just plop him there. Just go middle of the road. Oh. There we go. And one more. And there we are. Put down the last few lights. And handcraft a few. Though I think that's pretty illuminating all on its own. There we go. And now we can see blue science is coming into our laboratories, and we are finally getting cracking on that advanced oil processing. How many labs do I have right at this second? 27. So I think I'm going to extend that up to 40, because I was doing the math and looking this over. And I have a lab research speed of plus 50%, which I think means every lab does the function of 1.5 labs worth. So 30 labs would give me 45 labs worth of production, which means if it took 30 seconds per research pack to research something, well, the math is I don't have enough labs to keep up with 2 research packs a second from every research on only 30 labs, even with that bonus. Since at 2 research packs a second, I'd need 30 labs to go through 1 research a second for 30-second researches like this advanced oil processing. But with that plus 50% research, if I have 40 labs, then they work like 60, and 60 labs will burn through 2 science a second, even though I'm still not filling up every lab here. So maybe I'm just inviting trouble. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I haven't considered the impact of having lab research 3 in yet. So, just put down 3 more labs. There we go, and that should work, and extend the lines out accordingly. And, yep, can never quite manage to not pick that up. And so there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Now with that, I'm kind of curious. Let's see, I can make automobiles, locomotives, with all those wonderful, wonderful wagons. More turrets. Could make modular armor, but I think I'll have power armor coming in here soon. Oh, and I already did finish up that advanced oil processing, so I guess I should get over and get that wrapped up rather quickly. So let's go get that done. How am I looking in the way of pipes here? Probably going to need a few more. If not, just assume I'm going to need them. And that should definitely be overkill on the pipe front. A bit too much in the way of cold air. So, oh, yeah. We'll just go dump it off with our chemical plants over here. Get that coal out of the way. And we're going to switch over all these recipes right now and in a hurry. Plastics looks like it's going a little slow, but I think it's keeping up for red circuits at the moment. Yeah, if nothing else, it looks like it's just backing up a touch, so that's perfectly fine. Green circuits are doing fine. Of course, I haven't expanded anything beyond just supplying my science here, but let's just say it's going to become a fun day later down the road. So, let's do light to... There's no way I'm already... Oh, I did hook it up, and I bet you I hooked it up right backwards. Okay, let's try this again. Yep, definitely all the way backwards. That was, in all honesty, not unexpected. Yeah, it's the thing when I say I know how to play this game, but I don't have a lot of experience playing this game. That's what you get, is that exact result. So we'll pump that into there. Maybe do something like this. Ooh, and I could do lab research 4. What's that unlock for me? Ooh, more research speed. Okay. It's no problem. What is my lab research speed up to? Oh, plus 90. Yeah, I really shouldn't have worried too much about anything to do with research speeds. Okay, so I'm going to have to redesign this entire fluids bus here. Lo and behold, not the first time. Okay, that at least stretches everywhere. So let's just take off where I'm going to need to take off. And then we'll figure out how to make everything pretty and splice it over and all that goodness. Of course, my power poles would be directly in the way of everything I needed to do. Water, where am I going to pull water? Well, I could just pull water straight from there, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. We'll just keep this clean and easy. Good. I have a water pump right here. So we'll just put our water manifold. Let's call it right about here. And then for here, I can either yeah, kind of digging that. Or I could just wrap it up and around. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Because I shouldn't need, nope, just water and oil. Perfect. So we'll just make a nice neat little U there. Tie these all into each other. Is it? It is quite literally just that much short. Well, that's what happens when you don't pre-plan every detail. Still, not the biggest issue. By far. There we go. Cliffs are no problems for underground pipes. And then we just run for the water, which is probably not going to be able to come in right there. Nope. And this is why I recommend the wonderful act of always get more pipes. Because you can never quite plan for every tile. Or at least I never can. Nor do I really want to. Yeah, we could just run a quick petroleum gas bus right here. And I'm pretty sure there was a place to... Okay, when I say quick petroleum gas bus, what do I really want to accomplish with that? What are my ultimate goals? Well, obviously we all know my ultimate goals are to tie it in with the rest of the oil and with my petroleum supply, just like that. There we go. Okay, pipe there, pipe there. Now we run these guys like so. Okay, now it looks like we got cracking underway. Everything's full up at the moment. Wait, do I not have water? Yeah, nobody saw that. It was just there as a check. Alright, so for the spicy bit, we're going to switch this over to advanced oil processing. which, if anybody remembers from me showing that recipe, means we are now producing more. Our highest producer is petroleum gas, quickly followed by light oil, with heavy oil very low on the production rungs. And we also need more water. Well, I'm so glad I ran that water out and ran it into a bus type architecture here. So I'll just run this out, run it back to here, and this is what makes me glad I grabbed so many pipes. Wish I had robotics at this moment, actually, because something like this, especially for this very regular oil refinery up here, nothing's really different from one to the other. The spacing's exact, so every pipe's going to go in exactly the same space. This would be the perfect point to just copy paste and let the bots do it all, in my totally Factorio amateur opinion. But I don't have them. One of these days, maybe for a silly build or something, I'll see if I can't rush robotics. I'm sure you could. The curiosity is just in how would you do it? Or, well, how would I do it? Since Factorio can be played so many different ways with so many little different arrangements, the only thing that stays the same is that tech unlocks more tech, and so kind of dictates the pace and arrangement of your science. But that's really the only thing that ever stays the same. And we'll see if we're backing up on anything. It looks like we're just backing up on crude oil. Down here, they're promptly filling up with light oil, pumping out petroleum. So that's looking okay. Alright, so I think for our next episode, we're going to step up our oil production a touch. Start getting things like sulfur and whatnot for batteries. And definitely get lubricant for the electric engine units, because these are going to go into flying robot frames. And remember what I was saying about robots? I want them, as well as our most wonderful laser turrets. And it is definitely looking like I'm going to have to step up production across a couple of fronts. So with that, everybody watching, thank you very much. Today, what I've been able to accomplish is getting blue science established. Despite everything else, as we can see, the biters have not given up, and I'm desperately trying to run away from them. But now we have all these wonderful blue science techs opening up to us. And that means I can do things like get robots finally off the ground. Let's see, worker robot speed. Gonna need that. What else? Worker robot cargo size. Oh yes. Let those robots move as much as they can, as often as they can, as much as they want. What else could I use here? Military 3? Maybe not military 3 just yet. You know, this is making me wonder, where is power armor? Oh, that's under advanced electronics. Well, let's get that. And then unwrap power armor. If we're gonna have power armor, let's get a personal roboport. Ooh. And exoskeleton equipment so we can run even faster. And then worker robot speed 2. Alright, so there we are. Thanks to having blue science unlocked and functioning at full capacity, it looks like. Definitely at full capacity. Labs being researched to go even faster, so I don't have to add any more of those. Red circuits and engines have been built. So, yes, we have blue science. We're going into power armor. We're going into robots. We're going into laser turrets and rocketry, which I have researched. We're going explosives. We are going to very quickly here go biter hunting, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday and sticking through with the hour. Once again, if you have any comments, anything you'd like to add about this video, any clarifications you'd like to make, or any suggestions for the channel, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Have a great night, and I hope your week upcoming is the most beautiful you could ever possibly have right now. So thank you very much. Have a good one.